Hey everyone! So today, we're diving into a sacred sound that's been chanted for centuries. But this is not just any mantra. Its core philosophy is, well, it's unlike almost any other prayer you've ever heard of.
Let's just jump right in with a huge question. What if the most powerful, most profound prayer in the world wasn't actually addressed to any god, not to a specific being or a personality? What if, instead, it was a prayer to a set of qualities, a prayer to a state of being that really any one of us could aspire to?
And that right there is the entire premise of the Navkar Mantra. It's not about worshiping an individual, it's about honoring the attributes of souls who have reached incredible spiritual heights. It's basically a salute to the journey of enlightenment itself, which makes it one of the most universal prayers on the planet.
Okay, so let's get into this core philosophy. We're going to explore why this approach, this idea of venerating qualities instead of individuals, is such a game-changing concept.
You see, the reason this mantra is so universal is because it focuses on these attributes, which lets it just soar above any single religion or culture. This isn't about asking for a new car or to win the lottery. Nope, it's a tool to keep you focused on the ultimate goal, achieving liberation or moksha through a path of non-violence. It's a prayer that asks for the strength to keep walking the path, not for someone to just make the path easy for you.
So what is this mantra actually saying? All right, in this section, we're going to break it down line by line so we can really understand the 5 distinct states of being that are being honored here.
The very first salutation is to the Arihantas. Now, you can think of these souls as the ultimate spiritual victors. They've totally conquered their own inner enemies. Anger, greed, ego, all that stuff. They've basically annihilated their destructive karmas and are now here to show the rest of us the way.
Next up, we bow to the Siddhas. These are the perfected ones. They've done it. They are completely liberated, totally free from that endless cycle of birth and death. They've reached the final destination. Game over.
The third line, this one honors the acharyas. These are the spiritual masters, right? The head teachers who lead the community and guide everyone else who's trying to get to liberation. They are the leaders of the spiritual pack.
And the fourth salutation builds right on that by honoring the Upadhyayas. Think of them as the scholar saints. They're the ones responsible for interpreting and teaching the sacred scriptures. They are the keepers and the transmitters of all that divine knowledge.
And finally, the fifth one. This is a bow to all saints and ascetics everywhere. Everywhere in the entire universe. And this line is just so incredibly inclusive. It doesn't matter what tradition they follow. If a soul is pure in their thoughts, words, and actions, and they are on that spiritual path, they get honored right here.
So here's the kicker. After honoring these 5 incredible states of being, the mantra literally concludes by stating its own purpose. It declares that this 5-part salutation is a destroyer of all sins and that it stands as the most auspicious, most powerful mantra of them all. It's pretty bold.
Now this is where it gets really interesting. We're going to see how this powerful spiritual foundation is said to translate into this huge array of benefits, impacting everything from our karma to our physical and even our emotional health.
So, according to the ancient texts, the core spiritual benefits are, well, they're profound. The mantra is described as a destroyer of sins, a protector from all kinds of harm, a liberator of the soul, and a complete destroyer of fear. We're talking fear of anything: disease, fire, conflict, you name it.
Okay, but the source material also connects the mantra to the physical world in a fascinating way. It proposes that each of the 5 lines controls one of the 5 cosmic elements inside our bodies. So the idea is, by chanting the whole thing, you're bringing these elements into perfect balance, which promotes health and well-being.
And it doesn't stop there. The source takes this connection even further, linking the mantra to astrology. It actually claims that each line has the power to quiet down negative influences from the 9 planets, which is said to boost your happiness, your prosperity, and your general well-being.
So, beyond all these cosmic connections, the mantra is also presented as a really practical tool for just daily life. The source suggests that if you meditate on specific lines, you can actually help purify negative emotions. So for example, feeling anxious or maybe a bit arrogant, the text prescribes meditating on Namo Loe Sava Sahunam.
But how? How could a simple sound do all of this? And that brings us to our last section, where the source gets into some really fascinating theories rooted in what it calls the science and psychology of a sacred sound.
This quote from the source really frames the whole concept.
It's suggesting that the mantra isn't just a prayer, it's a form of mental energy, an energy that's apparently powerful enough to affect our personal aura and even act as a filter for our karmas.
Now check this out. This is one of the most intriguing theories the source presents. It suggests that when you chant the mantra, you create these specific sound vibrations. These vibrations are then believed to travel through the ether, literally reach the sun, and then bounce back infused with the sun's energy. And that energy then collides with and energizes the chanter's body. Wild, right?
And just to put the power of all this into perspective, the source claims there's a kind of hierarchy of power. The power of wisdom is supposedly 1,000,000 times greater than the power of intellect. But spiritual power? That's described as being infinitely greater still. And this mantra is seen as a key to unlocking that spiritual power.
From a psychological angle, the source explains that really strong emotion and belief can trigger very real physical changes in your body. You know, when a person is filled with devotion or some intense feeling, their adrenal glands secretes more hormones, and that unlocks a hidden, unknown power inside them. It's what allows an ordinary person to do something truly extraordinary.
So after exploring all these incredible benefits, from balancing elements inside you to unlocking your own psychological power, the source brings us right back to the main message. Yeah, worldly success and good health are nice, but they're just byproducts. The true ultimate purpose of this mantra is and always has been spiritual liberation.
So we're going to end on this thought. The source presents the Navkar Mantra as a sound that can literally create energy, change our bodies, and purify our minds. So if the sounds we make and the intentions we hold really have that much power, it kind of leaves us with a question for our own lives, doesn't it? What reality are we choosing to create with our words, our thoughts, and our focus every single day?